MMA fans, it's time. Join Max Fuller, never heard of him, but he sounds handsome, and Robbie Rosenhaus on November 16th for a UFC 309 watch party at the Ballpark Twin Cities in Blaine. We'll be hanging out starting at 7 p.m. through the main card with tons of prizes, including a big screen TV up for grabs, plus great drinks, scratch-made food, and batting cages, all available. Get the full details now at KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Can I ask you a question, you fellers, too, over there, if you don't mind?
Sure.
No, I'm not going to ask that.
It's not the same question we had just asked.
It's not the question Corey, I should say, Tommy asked when he sat down.
Yikes.
No, my question to you is, would you agree with me that, don't you think it would be a better thing for the UFC if they did fewer matches?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's so many that none of them feel special.
They do it every weekend.
Every weekend. Every weekend. And I understand. I mean, people love it. And if I happen to turn it on, but there's no way I'm buying a pay-per-view because there's just too many of them.
Yeah, and it's also made.
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah. And you're right, though. It's made these cards feel less special. They're not events anymore.
I can't keep up with who's good and who's not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They have a big star problem right now. There's a lot of good fighters, but there's no Conor McGregor. There's no face of the UFC right now.
Right. Or an unstoppable force, right? Because
if you had
one guy that just seemed like there's no one on the planet that can touch this guy, even if he's not as dynamic as Conor, right? Like an actual personality, just to
like Brock.
A Thanos.
Remember when Brock was there?
Yeah.
They need a Thanos.
Yes. Thanos is great.
The crazy thing is, I agree with all of that. It's just that I'm the type of consumer that if it's on, I'm watching it. I don't really care what the matchups are. I mean, I will sit there and scroll through stupid backyard brawls. I don't even know who these two redneck idiots are, but they want to punch each other in someone's backyard. I'm watching it.
Remember when Kimbo was just whooping people's ass in their driveway?
Yeah.
that was the best.
So fun.
He passed away, right?
Yeah,
he did. Who's the one fighter they call the Gooch?
Huh?
I
think that's a female fighter.
That was off the air.
That's Gucci Mane.
No, I'm serious.
I don't think they called anybody the Gooch.
What were we trying to call Sauce a couple of weeks ago? Wasn't it something? Oh, it was Scooch.
Scooch. Yeah, Scooch.
I want that
we
to
should
stick.
have a Saturdays of Sauce, but Scooch and Gooch.
Oh, boy.
Are you available?
Hey, Ben, before Hawk does the news, as you know, I watch Twin Cities Live all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You're a P1.
Yeah, whatever. Elizabeth Reese was talking about how she went and celebrated her dad's 70th birthday at Lambeau because they're all Packer fans, and that's fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Elizabeth's an American treasure. And the game was basically a downpour, right? So she sat and watched the Packers get their butts kicked by the Lions, and she got basically dumped on the entire time. Insert Chris Hockey's dad joke. But then you guys were talking about weather on the show, and you mentioned on the show that you played in 130 degrees.
Yeah, that's what the field temperature was.
Field temp, 130. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. That's exactly what, don't say, Ben, that's exactly what I wanted you guys to guess. Because I would have guessed so incorrectly, and then you said...
talking location?
Location. Where do you think Ben played in 130 degrees field temp?
You must have told me this story because I think I know it.
Okay, then sit out for a second. You go last then. Tommy, take a shot.
Home opener at Kansas State.
Kansas State. Sauce.
Chicago.
Max, you got a guess?
Ooh, yeah, I was going to go Chicago too, but I'll go Detroit.
Okay. Is Zacho back there yet or not? Not yet?
No.
Okay. Chris, you know?
I do believe I know. I think it's Cincinnati.
One of you got it right?
No.
What?
I thought you misheard. Close, but you misheard.
Oh, so it was a Kansas State game, but where was it then?
It was at Arrowhead.
Oh, at Arrowhead. Okay, I just remembered the Kansas State part.
Yeah.
At Arrowhead.
So we played the Iowa Hawkeyes in the Eddie Robinson Kickoff Classic.
There we go.
So it was our first game of the season, and little did you guys know. I think maybe Hawk understands this more than anybody else. That region of the country is so well-terrain hot in the summertime and in early fall. I mean, our training camps at Kansas State, we had guys from the South that grew up in the South that they're like, this is oppressive. Like, what is going on? Nobody realizes how hot that little area of the country gets.
It's the what do you call it?
The Dust Bowl.
No, the humidity.
It's the humidity.
Humidity kills you, man.
It zaps you. And that's the thing. Like I thought I was just being super soft coming from South Dakota, going to Kansas State and just suffering through our training camps. And, we have guys that were from Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, and they're like, this is worse than back home. Like, this is worse practice weather than back home. And
I'm surprised they let you play. You said somebody in the stands died that day.
Yes, unfortunately, an older lady died of heat stroke at the game. My grandma had to go to the medical tent to get fluids.
Jeez.
I mean, it was
she playing
awful.
Linebacker?
She's a corner.
She still had it.
Yeah, she had it.
Good for her.
She's got great
I
footwork.
thought
man.
LeBron and his son was a big deal.
Nobody really covered the fact that my grandma and I played with.
Saw said it was the most forced thing he had ever seen in college football history, watching your grandma play corner. 130. I honestly just can't believe they even allowed that. 130.
Here's the crazy thing is not one Kansas State player cramped up that game. And Iowa was falling like flies. It wasn't a super sexy game because it was hot and everybody was just miserable. But we were experimenting with this new hydration drink. I think it was called Rehydrolite. And it came in these little glass bottles. And they were almost like a little Mickey's, grenade sort of thing.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe a little bit smaller than that. And you had to drink them cold. Like they were in these big ice chests and you just had to reach in and grab one. Because if you drank anything that was like room temperature warm, it was like sour milk. It tasted like sour milk.
God.
So we had been using these for like 2 weeks leading up to the game. I don't know, you guys. They must have worked. Because I could not believe that the amount of sweat that we just all poured out and not one of us. And I'm a cramper. Like I cramp all the
big time.
So none of us cramped that game.
130.
130.
Still can't believe that. Again, I was in Vegas this summer when it was 120, and I couldn't do it for more than 3 or 4 minutes. I'm like, this is unbearable. I'm going back to the hotel. Walking in 120. How did you play football in 130?
I mean, you go out for pregame warmups just with your full pack on, and you're like, within 5 minutes, you're just like, your shirt's soaked.
I don't understand how they even play that game.
My sophomore year, we played at UNLV first game, and I got off the flight on the tarmac, and I thought I was behind the motor.
You're heavy.
The wind was that hot, and it was the worst game.
You're heavy.
Yeah, that's
the motor.
You're heavy.
or whatever it's called. I got you.
No, honest question. With that dry air out there, how hot it is, will you just have cotton mouth the whole game?
Awful.
That is the
Benny,
worst.
in that sophomore year,
You
so
can't
I'm
even...
kick return, extra point, field goal, punt, and offensive line.
Not a lot of breaks.
And we went to triple overtime.
Oh, my God.
You guys,
Won or lost?
So we won on a walk-off kickoff.
That's ridiculous.
And I'm the right guard right next to the long snapper on the game-winning field goal. And I go do it, right? And I'm right here, and I'm down, and my whole body locks up. And the field, like the kicker sprints the other way. They're all going to Selly. You can see it on film. I'm just like I'm not moving at you. Bad. So then in the locker room, I got IV'd, and then I sneezed on the flight home, and my whole body locked up again.
Oof.
Bad. Really bad.
Hey, speaking of that, maybe we've asked you this in the past, but again, our memories are terrible. Did you ever or could you ever long snap? Like if the Vikings called you right now, I know they just signed that Jake McQuaid kid, but could you ever long snap?
Not like that.
Not really?
I mean, I would do it in high school, but I one-handed it. But like...
Just winged it.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. I'm not like good at it.
Right.
And let me tell you, if you were, you didn't tell anybody. Right?
The last
Because you
thing
do
want.
not want to do that.
Yeah.
job.
No,
Don't want to be
thank
the
you.
long snapper?
Why?
No.
I was a long snapper on my high school football team. It was the most pressure I've felt in my whole life.
yeah, pressure.
In my whole life.
But the 5 yard, you start getting really good at it.
Yeah.
Like all those centers get dialed. Like I bet you a lot of the pro centers that like mastered it, not like just go in for it, they can get the laces for the quarterback.
Oh, dude, it's the best
It's
job
so
in all of
cool.
sports.
But, man, I'll
once
tell
you
you-
master it, then it's just
Good cash.
Then it's
Then they're
just
having
automatic.
fun. Yeah, they're not nervous at all.
No.
They're like the guys that you're so jealous of game day.
So jealous.
And they're just having coffee, just so relaxed.
Oh, yeah.
He just knows he has
They're just-
about 6 snaps to play in, just thinking about
lounging in their chair in their locker, just
Well,
sipping coffee.
Nothing made me more angry than seeing the specialists on game day. I'm like, I hate.
Well,
you
I didn't want to be
guys.
the kicker. I'm like, I don't envy the kicker, but the punter and long snapper, I'm like, you sons of bitches.
Right. Right.
Jeez.
God,
I was the only person that could get it back there, and I did it one-handed, like you said, Tommy.
Yeah.
And it was the worst, and it was like it was rolling the dice every time we had to punt.
How many
Whether I was
snaps did
getting
you have in high school, Chris, where you were beyond embarrassed because it wasn't even close? Did you have horrific ones or not?
I had 2 really bad ones, One of them was like one of my drives off a tee. It just dribbled back to him. And another one went completely over his head.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the one that went over his head lost the game for us.
No, it did not.
Yeah.
What year of your snapping there?
Sophomore year.
All right, so at least it wasn't a senior year thing, right?
No.
Sophomore kid, you can get out of that.
no.
If it's senior year, big game, whoops.
Yeah.
Literally, no one else could get it to
Pogs,
the No one
Daddy.
else could.
Did you find some bosoms to like crawl into and comfort yourself that night?
And Dad was real nice to me.
Yeah.
that night.
my.
It's time for the news.
This is KFAN News with Chris Hockey.
Hi, brought to you by my friends at Carboni's. I'm starving. How good would Carboni's be right now?
So good.
Let's do it. An emperor penguin surprised some Australians by turning up on a beach thousands of miles from its Antarctic home. The Antarctica home, I should say. The penguin showed up on Ocean Beach in Western Australia. It described the penguin as malnourished and said the animal is under the care of a trained local wildlife carrier.
Really?
Yeah, right.
God, what a great film. So good.
That penguin's like, son of a bitch.
How far did he go?
Swim back.
He worked for
I am
FedEx
lost.
and his plane go down?
Yeah,
What
right.
happened?
He really
here?
must have been turning up. He got lost.
What was that animal that had to swim across the water to
Sloth.
Yeah, sloth.
What if he was doing the same thing? He goes, I'll meet you in Australia.
Long Island.
Yeah,
right.
I got an
Son
email
of a
from a lady
bitch.
penguin who said I should have this beach rolling off.
The emperor penguin shows up on the shores of Australia
Yeah.
with a 6-pack of Siemens and condoms. And Chris Hansen's like, what are you doing here, buddy? He's like,
Just watching a movie.
you ain't supposed to be here. I was going to mentor some koalas.
I was going to wait till our mom got home.
You know all these koalas have chlamydia, correct? Never mind. Going back.
Start swimming.
See ya. Yeah. Emperor penguin, probably the wrong name for this specific penguin. He's
Yeah.
not acting like a king of any kind. What an a-hole.
He's exploring.
Go home.
A new study suggests
Crazy.
that feeling more sleepy during the day as you get older could mean you're at a higher risk for dementia.
Oh, great. well, that's every second of every day of my
Yeah.
life.
Bitch.
I'm screwed.
God dang
The
it.
study
Yeah.
published Wednesday, over
It's
35% of those who experience daytime sleepiness developed a cognitive risk syndrome
Son of a bitch.
that could lead to dementia. The syndrome often results in a slow walking speed and memory loss.
I'm trying to think, honestly, the last time it was 3 or 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm like, I am firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
That just doesn't happen.
I think you
Especially now when the sun goes down at
No.
4:15.
should burn that study. Who gets more spry as they get older? That's the dumbest thing.
Also
I've ever heard.
true. Yeah. Good point.
At 3 o'clock, think of that. You're never awake. At
Especially
3,
if you
4,
have
5.
kids, man. Who has time to have energy?
Yeah.
These kids
Jack
are
LaLanne?
draining. Yeah, Jack LaLanne.
Jack
R.I.P.,
LaLanne's
right? When
Yeah,
did
no,
he
yeah,
die?
R.I.P.
Who's Jack LaLanne? Who's
He's
that?
still got more energy than me. He's
Yeah.
been dead
Oh,
for
yeah,
20
yeah.
years.
Let's look
like
up
a
when he
workout
died.
guy.
Yeah, he was working out until he was older than
And
hell.
he didn't look like it.
He died in 2011 at 96 years
Yeah,
old.
and it was still pumping iron, man.
You'd think he wasn't. He was just sporting some iron. I'm with you. Is that what he said?
Oh, yeah, he had some iron.
Jack.
Oh, he had to have a
yeah.
sweet hang down, right?
He invented a number
Kettlebell
of.
hanging there.
Oh, yeah.
Check this out. Invented a number of exercise machines, including the pulley and leg extension devices.
It was 130
He
degrees
made
in his
those?
shorts.
Man, he must have. Wow. He must have printed money. Him or Richard Simmons?
For what?
For what?
I bet
That's-
money.
you-
My flag football team or what?
You answer your own question.
Okay. Money, it had to have been Richard.
You think so?
Yeah.
Oh,
If
by
he
a
made
mile.
By a
For
mile.
sure, yeah.
If he made the leg curl, those are in every gym.
No. Richard Simmons made.
What did Richard
Probably
Simmons do?
millions, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
Benjamin,
Sort of the oldies.
I don't have his weight. What do you think the height of Jack LaLanne was? How tall do you think he was?
5'7".
Yeah, I was going to say, he's in my camp. I bet he had short arms and always makes us look
5'1".
stronger.
You guys nailed it. 5'6".
Yeah.
He was 5'6".
That doesn't surprise me because I'm telling you, having short arms always made it so much easier for me than everybody else. Like lifting weights and doing squats.
Benching.
A
Yeah,
bench
yeah.
press, yeah.
Yeah, man.
I have short
Absolutely.
arms.
Yeah, but you know what? I think you definitely have us when it comes to longevity. I mean, you don't see a lot of 6'2" and higher 90-year-olds.
That's what I say about Eddie all the time. I'm like, Shmuel, you better soak this in. You're dying soon.
My God.
Wow. Well, I still remember that's what Corey brought up to that Harlem Globetrotter that walked in. His
100%.
first question was like, do you think about your mortality, that you're going to die
You're too
soon?
tall. You're going to be dead soon.
I'm like, damn, Corey.
Let's
the truth.
let's cut right to the chase here.
Yeah, you know you're going to be dribbling in a different way when you're 50, right?
100%. Yeah, Jack LaLanne invented a number of exercise machines, including the pulley and leg extension devices, like I already mentioned. Something called the Smith machine.
Something called the Super Sucker.
Yep.
He made the Smith machine?
Yeah.
He's printing money.
As well, he's dead now.
I'm sorry. I bet you didn't have the copyright, though.
As well as protein supplement drinks, resistance bands, and protein bars. So he was on the forefront of a lot of that.
Yeah. He was a huge pitch man for like all the health and wellness stuff.
Like an original influencer.
Yeah.
Also popularized juicing and the jumping jack.
Oh, that's right. He was doing a lot of jumping jacks.
Man,
in this
jumping
day.
jacks were like the easiest thing ever. Yeah, we'll do some jumping jacks.
Yeah, because you could stand
Now,
on the
if-
back of the line and fake it.
If he's the
arms.
one that came up with the
Why'd you
burpee, I
have
want to
to
kick him right in his nuts.
Because I didn't want to do jumping
What's
jacks.
worse, faking?
Sorry, guys. Why'd you have to fake jumping jacks?
All that stuff.
What was
sucked.
worse than doing a jumping jack with your shirt off, though? Oh,
What did you have
to do that? You know, when you're like working out, you got your shirt off, and then like
Which of your coaches made you do that?
No, it just looks like you forgot your bra.
Let's do shirts and skins for jumping jacks. Tommy, take your shirt off. It's just you and
Hey,
me.
the young man who looks like a lady, take your shirt off.
So Chris is right. The easiest exercise of all time is the jumping jack. Right? In gym class, if they made you do sit-ups or pull-ups, or push-ups, you're like, all right.
Yeah.
Jumping jacks this is exercise?
Yeah.
That counts? You faked those?
Yeah, you would just do.
I don't know, though.
You would just
You
wave
just
your
do this
arms,
bit.
but not
You go-
jump. Wow.
Man.
That explains a lot.
Yeah, you'd stand on the back of the line during warm-ups.
Yeah.
My God. What? No. Your pants had zips on them?
Well, he didn't have a shirt on.
But burpees, I'd rather die.
Oh, if
running
burpees are
hills-
part of any
running hills
exercise,
was the
I'm just
worst.
like, oh, pound sand. I'm not doing that.
Did you guys have to run? Did you guys do did you guys do the wagon wheel?
What's the wagon?
What's that?
Where you would lay in a circle, everybody face down, and then the one person would get up and start running, and you would run, like jump over the people.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Lay down when you get to the end.
Yeah, it's like duck, duck, goose.
Yeah.
Or what's where you did 3 and it was like you're rolling back and forth?
Ugh.
That was monkey roll.
Monkey
Yeah,
race,
those suck.
Yeah, that was always a football thing. Right?
Always.
Yeah.
And there's
First
always
day of
one
pads
guy who
for
couldn't
some
quite
first
pull it
bit-
off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you get stuck with the big guy that can't get off the ground and he falls on top of you and trips over you.
You're just looking at him like, come on,
Yeah,
buddy.
come
Like
on.
if you do a few jumping jacks, Sauce, you'd be able to do this.
I would actually, Corey, I would actually say that jumping jacks are not as easy as you think they are.
Really? If you go
I've
for
seen
longer.
so many people that can't find the coordination between their feet spreading apart and their hands going up at the same time.
Fair. I don't know why I'm fascinated now, but now I'm doing a deep dive on Jack LaLanne's Wikipedia. They have a list of all these different feats that he accomplished. In 1959, when he was 45 years old, in 1 hour and 22 minutes to promote the Jack LaLanne show going nationwide, how many push-ups did he do and how many chin-ups did he do in 1 hour and 22 minutes?
Oh, my God.
Somebody's going to have to do the math on this. So 2,000 total, right? 1,000 of each. 1,000 push-ups, 1,000 chin-ups in an hour. I just said the
I was
number.
just going to say, I was just going to wait.
I just completely meat sauced it. Anyway, that's the answer. 1,000 push-ups
Each?
and 1,000 chin-ups in an hour and 22 minutes. What? How is it possible?
I don't know.
That's incredible.
Wonder if he also developed steroids. You know what I mean? A little less reported.
Well,
Ben, you could probably do that now that I think
God,
about
I wish I
it.
had
God, no.
steroids.
Yeah, you could.
1,000 push-ups in
Yeah.
an hour and a half.
Huh? So do like-
Along with 1,000
yeah, so if you
pull-ups.
did- so
There's
give me-
no way.
Give me an hour
No
and
way.
22 minutes, right?
There's no way.
No chance.
So
No
then
chance.
it's 100 push-ups every 10 minutes.
Well, here, let's just do the.
You can get
what did
that
I say?
done.
1
Take
hour
your
and
break.
22
No,
minutes.
Benny, you could do that. I guarantee you could do
can't.
it.
No, I can't.
Benny, I promise you could do it.
No.
To do, you'd have
I
to
can't do
you'd
the
have
chin-ups,
to you'd
but-
have to rep out 100 reps in a set of 10.
No,
Like-
you could do sets of 50 or 25. So you do
25.
over 10 minutes, you get 100 done. So you do just sets of 25.
I'm telling you, I think that you would gas out your upper body so quickly.
Tommy, that is
especially with the pull-ups involved.
That is one chin-up or one pull-up or whatever. Sorry, pull-up and push-up every 2.4 seconds for an hour and 22 minutes straight.
Yeah,
there's just no way.
There's no way.
Your body would just give out unless you're just kind of a freak.
Right. I think you could do one. You can't do both. You can't do pull-ups and push-ups.
I don't think you can do either. Right? Like
I couldn't do 1,000 push-ups in an hour and a half.
No chance. And you're in great shape. There's no way Ben could. This is freakishly. That's a giant number.
I could eat 1,000 push-ups.
Oh my God, I love push-ups.
God, I love those things, man.
The orange sherbet.
The orange ones.
So good.
That's childhood right there.
So good.
Some of those right now.
I know. Do they still sell those?
Of course.
Target's got them, right?
Yeah.
Target's got to have them. And are they still Flintstone brands?
I was going to say the old school recipe.
Let's see.
I believe so.
I like how we're just talking about how this guy changed exercise. We're like, where do we get Flintstone push-ups? So good. Target.
Oh no.
I don't know. Well,
Push pops? Weren't they called push pops?
just Flintstone
I think
push-ups.
that's what you.
I think they're called.
What's that, Hogs Daddy?
This is when you met Doug Westerman.
Oh.
Hi, Pops.
Target has push-up pops that are just bras. Whoops, that's not the search I was looking for.
I'd still
Yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and just click on that instead. Yeah, this is better. Anyway, Tio, can you stick around for one
I can
more?
do one more. Yeah.
Hey!
We didn't really get the news outside of the Penguin.
That's okay. That's enough.
Oh, they're at Walmart.
Walmart's got them.
Yes.
All right.
Let's go to Hy-Vee. Jonathan Grenard, everybody.
Time now for the Vikings Report, presented by Hy-Vee, the official grocery partner of the Minnesota Vikings. Linebacker Jonathan Grenard joins the power trip next, thanks to Hy-Vee.
Join Corey Cove. Hey, I know that guy. For Coors Light, a hockey night on Thursday, November 14th at Sunset Grill in Spring Lake Park. Watch Minnesota take on Montreal and play trivia for your chance to win a pair of sweet tickets to the game on January 9th against Colorado. Get the full details now at KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Tommy, maybe you heard me say this yesterday, but had one of those 2 nights ago at Kazi's, right, in Stillwater? Right?
Yeah.
And then a gal walked up to me and said, "Can you tell me the Tommy Olsen story?"
Yeah,
and I told her, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm sorry. Yeah. So they're still asking about it, Tommy, and I'm still trying to keep it a secret. But,
Yeah. I honestly, we just got to move on sometime.
Tommy, did you hear my thing about what I do when people ask me that?
I thought that was one of the most funniest lines you've said in a long time.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And then I said, what I do is I say that Tommy stole his mom's car at the age of 15 and ran over a bunch of kids getting off a school bus. And when they react, I go, "Is worse than that."
Yeah. My goodness. It is worse than that.
It's not. That's not.
Yeah.
It's not. No.
What we should do is truly turn it into the Joker from The Dark Knight, and every one of us tell 37 different stories. So then no one will truly know which horrific story
but one
is
of us
yours.
tells the true story.
Right. One of us. I like that. But then they'll never know which one.
Yeah. It's like two truths and a lie, right?
Exactly. But we just turn it into 57 lies and one truth. So there will be a lot of horrific rumors floating around, Tommy, but then no one will know what to believe.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
I think mine's going to involve bestiality just for fun.
Yeah,
just to mix it in there.
I'm going to believe that's the real one.
Yeah. Let it roll.
Just let it roll.
Just let it roll.
Judgment-free zone.
Yeah, it's like fan fiction. Hey, I know it's Tommy's last segment, and we got to do sports, but please remind me to ask Ben 2 separate things about his career.
Okay.
Unless you want me to do it now. I can do it now if you want. It doesn't matter. They're small. Can I ask? Can I ask?
quick.
Can we get this?
Okay.
It's time for Fan 5 on the Power Trip, presented by All Around Property Preservation.
Hey, thank you all around. Today would have been, or maybe, I'm sorry, it was yesterday. My apologies. It doesn't matter. It does matter, but you get my point. Would have been Pat Tillman's 48th birthday. Did you play against him or know him at all? Pat Tillman?
No, I don't believe I did. I don't think I knowingly played against him.
48.
48, yep. Man, I wonder how long he's been gone.
He was only in the league for like, what, 3?
Something like that. It was quick.
years?
And then
Because he had a deal on the table, or he had just signed his extension or something like that.
That's right. And then he joined,
he's
right?
like, nope, I'm out.
Yep,
Yeah.
died April 22nd, 2004 at age 27.
So I was in the league in 2002, and he was at the Cardinals. So yes, we must have, because I played, I think, my rookie year in Arizona, maybe like the second game of my career.
Ben, are you 45?
45.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, you look good.
Okay. Thanks,
No,
man.
you really do.
You do. It just hit me that you're 45.
He's
It's
the Jack LaLanne of the Power Trip Morning Show.
Okay, Tommy, B word. I'm 53.
He looks great.
Okay, thank you.
You're
All right,
just
good.
teeing off. You've never looked better.
Okay, now do sauce.
Yeah, now do sauce.
I'd make
Dream
out
come
with sauce.
Would you really?
Sure would.
God, I'd
A
pay
lot
to
of
see
people
that.
owe me a lot of money.
I do with his brother all the time.
Oh, my. I mean,
Is that
Thank
right?
you for your honesty.
I thought so.
I'm 42.
what was the other question?
Question 2. It was on this day yesterday, I believe. Adrian Peterson set the single game rushing record for 200 in 2007.
That was in Chicago?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
I
That's
think.
the 295?
90s.
What was it? Was there something? Adrian Peterson.
It was 296.
I'm sorry. It says here
It was in
San Diego.
It was San
San
Diego.
Diego at
It was
home.
against San
I
Diego.
was good.
San Diego.
I
Yeah, home
remember
against San
he had
Diego.
2 huge games, one in
296.
Chicago and one in San
And he
Diego,
had,
one
like,
against San Diego at home.
55 in like the first half or something.
That's right. He had
Yeah.
a slow first half
Yeah.
against San Diego, and then it went off in the second half.
Yeah. That's what I was going to ask you if you remember anything about that game.
I certainly remember that game only because it was like that, sort of that game that you circle on the calendar, like, I'm going to show my former team that I'm a good player.
Yeah, right.
And I actually remember, specifically on the sidelines, like sort of watching, especially when he was going off in the second half, just watching their linebacker core and how much they did not want to hit him. I'm like, you guys are like shying away from any sort of contact with this guy. Like, come on.
I'm going to retweet this. There's a thing on Twitter of every single rush he had that game. And the thing that I continue to see is Jim Kleinsasser just mashing people.
Oh, yeah.
Just mashing people.
God, he was so good at his craft.
He was.
So good.
Oh, practice must have sucked against him, huh? Because you had to meet him in the hole a lot.
Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I did.
But seriously,
And it was glorious meeting in the hole like that.
but no, it must have been like a big contacts.
It was. I mean, the thing is, like, yeah, they wanted us to go. I mean, they wanted us to go basically full speed. It's how it is. It's full speed thud.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is full speed until the point of contact or point of the tackle. Like, they just don't want you to tackle the guy. You can kind of thud off the tackle. But as far as the blocks go, the blocks are supposed to be full speed. So same thing in San Diego. I had to go against Lorenzo Neal all the time.
Oh, man.
So Lorenzo Neal is like built like a little anvil. And
That's
so,
a huge bitch.
and so he and I would have to hit each other all the time. And then I'd come to Minnesota, and then it was like Tahi and Jim Kleinsasser.
Oh, the one story I love is when you told me that when McKinney would try, when McKinney
was
just
like
throw anyone out.
Yeah, when McKinney was feeling randy, he could throw anybody out of the club. He could pick you up, Tommy, and throw you across the field.
So cool.
He could just pick up a gal and just set her on a bar.
Or on his shoulders.
Hey, by the way, football related.
Yes.
He ran for 224 yards against Chicago, 11 yards on average carry. And then he ran for 296. He ran for 520 yards against 2 teams.
Yeah.
Some guys don't run that much in a season. He did that in 2 games.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And he missed 2 games that season. He was inactive for 2 games.
You guys need to watch this at some point, maybe when you're sitting on the
thanks,
potty or
Zachy.
something like that.
On the potty.
Yeah, I mean, this is fascinating because, and he fumbled. And one of those
Yeah, he
plays
did that a
fumbled.
lot.
Yeah, unfortunately, he kind of had a problem with that.
But my God, were we huge. Our offensive line and our tight ends. I don't even remember who 83 was.
83 was Jimmy Dugan.
Yeah, Jim Dugan.
That's a big dude as well, man.
Yeah.
We were
boy.
huge, man.
We have stories about Dugan for days.
Oh, we do?
Oh, I can't wait.
Oh, please.
I mean,
Tommy like?
Stuff
No, nothing like that. He's the opposite of Tommy's stories.
Wow.
He just had a lot of OCD characteristics, and boy, the things that he'd have to do just to survive the day. Man.
That sucks.
Dude, I lived with that torture for 23 years of my life. I can tell you. That's terrible. Really.
It's so funny to poke fun at.
I bet you would have loved me. Hey, why don't you do that 4 times again, huh?
Yeah. Why don't you tickle your shoelaces again?
Do me a favor and open that door.
That's
Wash your
something
hands.
you don't admit, like in a football setting.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody knew. Nobody.
And he's sort of the best thing about him is like he's the nicest guy in the world. So I kind of feel bad that I'm like kind of just poking fun at him. But he sort of talked like Dauber from Coach.
Oh yeah, right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it was like it made it all. He's just a lovable guy. But he had his quirks. A lot of quirks.
Isn't that the guy that ended up being on SpongeBob? Isn't that
Yes.
the same guy?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That guy was on. He's a voice on SpongeBob.
He's the star.
Patrick.
He's Patrick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's Patrick
He
Star.
is?
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I'm so jealous of those voice
Oh,
actors.
dude. I mean,
Yeah, it's
the dream.
Yeah,
the
that
dream.
is-
The
that's a
dream.
great bit.
Yeah.
Good bit.
That's a lot of money.
See, I'm
You
ready.
guys should
I'm
do it.
auditioning right now.
You guys, really quick before I go, the Christmas card. You guys in?
I'm in.
Oh, sure.
Christmas card's easy because we don't. All we have to do is stand one picture. Done.
I mean, for the bit, should I also be not on that one? And then you guys can just say,
That'd be great. Yes.
We couldn't find a good picture of you and we didn't think you would notice.
That's a funny bit.
Yeah, that's a great.
I'd like
bit.
one with and one without.
T.O., you're the best, buddy.
I love you guys.
See you next week or not?
Yeah, I'll be here. 3817. Book it.
I love that.
So I'm going
Let's
to
go.
have to go to Manning's with you.
Can't wait.
Because you say 21
I'll
points.
go too.
Yeah.
Crap. Tomers.
Yeah.
I can't believe I forgot to do this. I know we're running late. Give me 5 seconds, okay?
Okay.
I bookmarked this to ask you if you would do this, and I know you'll say no, but I really want you to think about this, okay?
Good.
I got an email from Steve Walters, who is the general manager for the Arena League champion Duluth Harbor Monsters.
Okay.
And they
Great
are
name.
having their free agent tryout in January. And they want to know if you want to come and try out.
Not a chance.
Don't you want to see if you still have it?
I like your honesty.
No, thank you. I'm good.
Oh, okay, all right.
I'm
never
good.
mind then.
Such a cool name for a team.
That
though.
is sick,
Yeah.
They won
though.
the championship last year. man.
Harbor Monsters is awesome.
Yeah, that's a sweet name.
That would be cool if like all of my buddies went back and played.
Yeah, maybe Ed will do.
That'll do.
Yeah, he's going to die soon anyway, right? According
right.
to you. Clock's ticking on
Wow.
Big Schmoll.
Poor
Get up there and play for the Harbor Monsters. All right, Tommy, you're the best,
Love you
dude.
guys. See you next
Bye,
week.
buddy.
All right, Tom Pelissero after this on The Fan.
The Fan.
Without further ado, because I went way too late on that last segment, he's been waiting, and I don't like to keep him waiting. Our friend Tom Pelissero, brought to you by our friends at Bell Bank, joins us every Thursday, normally at 7:40, but I couldn't stop myself from talking last time. I'm sorry, Tom. Thanks for joining us.
You're good, huh? I always just ask, when I'm sitting here staring at a blank screen, am I actually on? And by the way, I hear myself in my ear again. so
Okay,
you can-
see, I got it. Yeah, I swear to God, it changes every week. It changes every week. But that's not your fault. It's my fault. Anyway, welcome. It's good to see your face. How are you?
Doing great. We are past the trade deadline, which, regains about 30% of my life back, which is always nice. It was, we had a lot of action, 18 trades in all, which, if you remember what the trade deadline was like 10, 15 years ago, this would be, completely mind blowing. Now this is kind of the standard. We get 15, 20 trades every year. People are aggressive. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of craziness, but it's fun to cover.
The Jaden Daniels selection by the Commanders shows what you can do when you select the right quarterback. Do you think they truly believe they can win a Super Bowl this year?
I mean, they're at least acting like they think they can win a Super Bowl, or perhaps the better way to frame it is they know that their fan base thinks that they can win a Super Bowl. When you have, places where you've not had success in so long, like Washington, you got these positive vibes going, standing pat at the trade deadline probably would have been disappointing. You don't make decisions based on public perception, but, definitely just in talking to people, they felt like, there was a lot being stirred up of all these different things that they could do. So they went out and got a guy in Marshawn Lattimore. They gave up the highest price, really. I mean, you can break these things down different ways, but probably the highest price that anybody gave up, a third and a fourth round pick for him. That's significant compensation. Not to mention the fact Lattimore's hurt. He's got a hamstring injury. I don't know if he's going to be able to play. He didn't practice yesterday. But, clearly they feel like they've got a window. part of the puzzle of the NFL right now in the, really since 2011 when the rookie contracts were changed by the collective bargaining agreement is now that you have cost controlled quarterbacks for those first 3 or 4 years, you can spend money on other things. They're paying Jaden Daniels right now. I'd have to look up his exact cap number, but his cap number is probably like $8 million, where the top quarterbacks are making $60 million. Like that's, $50 million in walking around money that you can spend on other stuff. A lot of times teams feel like that window opens up year 2, year 3, but Jaden Daniels has played at a really high level so far this season. And so I don't want to say they're going all in, but they're certainly going, and they're trying to win right now.
Tom, can you walk us through the injuries to Vikings kicker Will Reichert and their long snapper Andrew DePaula, and then how they settled on John Parker Romo and Jake McQuaid, and what kind of market we had out there for kickers and long snappers that were available?
I don't know a great deal about the Andrew DePaula injury other than it's something that's longer term. And so, they're going to have to bring in and replace a guy who's been really steady for him. With Will Reichert, I know he had an MRI. It's a quad strain, which in your kicking leg, you can push it, but you can see how much pain he was in the other night. And so put him down on IR. He'll be out for 4 games. John Parker Romo is a guy who was in camp with them. He's bounced around. He's been on different teams in camp. He's not kicked in an NFL game. But I know that he went to, I believe it's the Gary Zahner camp, which is Gary Zahner, longtime NFL special teams coach who trains kickers. Because listen, every year there's like 30 guys who are on the circuit, right? A kicker gets hurt, and it's the same 4 guys who come in and they work out, and then one of them gets the job, and then a different couple of kickers come in and join those guys at the next workout. So when people go and work with, Zahner and these other special teams coaches, they're really staying ready. John Parker Romo, if I remember correctly, won the Gary Zahner kicking competition, which is something that a lot of teams, they'll have somebody go and show up and watch it. They're certainly aware of, who are the guys who are taking the coaching well. And so he was on the radar for the Vikings. They had him in camp. They liked him then. Clearly wasn't beating out a draft pick, but he was the natural guy. They worked out like 6 kickers, I believe, on the wire. And, but Parker Romo was clearly the guy.
Let's stick on the injury front there, Mr. Tom Pelissero, thanks to Bell Bank, is Trevor Lawrence as the Vikings get ready to play the Jaguars. Jags dealing with a lot of offensive line injuries, and now their quarterback is a little banged up. How serious is his shoulder or upper body injury, and do we expect him to play?
Well, they also traded their left tackle to the Vikings, which is an interesting twist in all this. Trevor Lawrence, it's his left shoulder. It's a non-throwing shoulder. You don't want to downplay it because we've seen guys miss time with that before. I would just say, Trevor Lawrence is really tough. He's played through a lot. He has not always played well when he's had injuries. I believe it was a high ankle sprain he had last season, and he kept playing through it and didn't look real good. There are times where perhaps you want to save a guy from himself, but the fact that he was even limited in practice yesterday would indicate to me, they're going to monitor it. They're going to see how he does through the course of the week. But if I had to guess, sitting here on a Thursday morning, I would say you probably see Trevor Lawrence. And if anything happens to him, Mac Jones would be the guy stepping in.
Do you think TJ Hawkinson plays, about every snap? I know they kind of had him on a little bit of a pitch count. Do you think he plays a lot more this Sunday?
Well, they've got different, packages and stuff too. And so I think it's just going to kind of depend on that. There's probably certain situations where they feel more comfortable with TJ Hawkinson. When he's detached running routes, there's probably less of a strain on him than if he's in there in a blocking scenario a lot of the time. And they like, some of the other tight ends, Josh Oliver, Johnny Munt, they like having those guys in the mix. But I would think, I don't know exactly what his snap count was last week, but I would anticipate that continues to tick up. I was a little worried. I mean, he took that one low hit early in the game. It didn't look as bad as the one he got hurt on last year, but he gets hit low and kind of crumples over. And it was like, of all things in your first game to take a hit like that, but he bounced right back up. Sometimes that's, Ben could attest to this. Sometimes when you're coming off an injury, you take a hit like that and you bounce right back up, and maybe gives you that little bit extra confidence that, all right, I'm back to normal.
Yeah, I have an interesting question for you. I just came across this as well. Is with all the trades that you talked about, there are 5 players in the NFL that could end up playing 18 games without a bye week, which is kind of a crazy thing. Contractually, how do they handle that? Are they getting, because all of their salaries is prorated off of 17 games / 18 weeks with a bye week, do they get added in an extra week of pay for that?
No, because like you said, they get paid on the bye week. So it's 18 game checks that you get. The last guy I remember who did that was Emmanuel Sanders, got traded, and I'm blanking out. It might have been, was it from the Broncos to the Saints? I can't remember, but he got traded in the season. He played 17 games. So it is possible, but no, you're getting paid like normal here. So you just got to put in one more week of work without a bye in there.
Well, that sucks. I want a bye week. The bye weeks are special, man, and those guys don't get them.
Yeah, there's just no paid vacation. Welcome to my world.
Tom, who do you think is going to hit Sam Darnold in the head this weekend and not draw a flag?
It's not great. The one against the Rams was egregious. I mean, that was ridiculous. The one last week, you can at least see where, okay, was it a forcible blow? Like, when you see it in replay, yeah, it was. He hits him in the chin. You'd like to think that the officials are throwing the flags on that, especially because, generally speaking, they err on the side of caution on these things. But you're still talking about, it's human beings. There's mechanics on certain plays. Not all the officials are staring at the referee. Sometimes you're blocked out. Sometimes you simply think that the contact didn't rise to the level of being a foul. That's also, that's part of where every time that there's this uproar about make everything reviewable, have everything reviewable. Well, I think that we all agree the face mask 2 weeks ago against the Rams, that would have been, if you had a situation where Kevin O'Connell could challenge it or the league office could get involved, they would have put down a flag, right? The one last week, it's a little more gray. I'd say you could say, if you show that to 100 people, 75 of them might say that's a penalty. Well, then, do you want the flag being put down by somebody in New York for 75%? Do you only want it for 100%? Those are some of the challenges here. I do think that we are hurtling toward a world in which many more things are reviewable. They always try to move incrementally on this. The one time they tried to have a play be reviewable that is a subjective call, and all these penalties, not the out of bounds stuff, but holding and roughing the passer. These are inherently judgment calls. The competition committee's been hesitant to substitute one person's judgment for another. Case in point, when they tried to make pass interference reviewable coming off the Rams-Saints debacle in the 2018 NFC Championship game, you had a rule that coaches pushed for at the league meeting in March. They approved having a rule before they even wrote the rule, which is unlike how they ever put rule changes into effect. We got to the season, and I don't know the exact percentages, but it was like by the end, they just didn't overturn anything. It was just like, yeah, we're not going to throw a flag on that. And that's where you end up in a complicated situation. I don't think that you want someone who's not an official on the field going, well, 51% that was a foul, we're putting down a flag. What's the threshold for it? What does clear and obvious mean? There were some what looked to be clear and obvious pass interference fouls, that season in 2019, and the league office just was like, we're not throwing it down. We don't know what's clear and obvious. It's a hard thing, but to the extent of, Kevin O'Connell, I'm sure Kwesi, whoever's responsible for communicating that to the league office, I'm taking a wild guess that, maybe Troy Vincent got a call reminding them, hey, when you put out those officiating videos this week, just make sure that everybody remembers that, we're owed a couple here.
All right, Tom, I got a fun one for you. Okay, you've seen a lot of football in your day. You've seen a lot of spectacular plays, offense, defense. So there was 2 spectacular plays I want to get your comment on, and maybe you pick your favorite and see if where it sort of ranks in your favorite plays. So Garrett Wilson had an unbelievable catch in the back of the end zone, right? One-handed, kind of double toe tap, gets his feet in. Everybody's like, it's the Jordan deal, whatever, right? And then you have Saquon Barkley that does the reverse hurdle from behind. 2 of the best plays from this last week. Where do they rank as far as the plays that you've seen?
I think, the Garrett Wilson catch was really, really good. Like when he pulls it in, and I'm sitting next to my wife on the couch, and I blurred out like, oh my God. I mean, you could see it in real time that was a ball he should not have been able to catch. I still think it's not quite to the level of the Odell catch because, Odell caught the ball behind his head. Like the ball is out of bounds and he's inbounds. Garrett Wilson was still, amazing body control. And I know that everybody wants to debate, whether, the shin was in or not. I tended to think it was. Again, hard decisions that you got to make on instant replay. So a really good play. It'll probably be one of the plays that you see on the highlight reel of the 2024 season. The Saquon Barkley reverse hurdle.
So much.
Like, that's in a different category. And here's how I would define it. For everybody who plays video games, right? You play Madden. If the designers put in that play in Madden, you would have said, this is stupid. No one will ever do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Why would you put in a reverse hurdle? Like what kind of, what's supposed to be a game in reality? Saquon Barkley did something in that game that seemed unrealistic for a video game. And we know Saquon is, an outstanding athlete. We know the power and the lower body strength. But that's like a gymnastics move. I mean, his body is folded up. His forearms are basically on his thighs as he's going over the defender. I've never seen anything like that in my life. Everybody wants to hurdle now, because that's just something that when it happens in NFL games and college games, kids see it and they emulate it. Don't try this at home. You will not be able to do this if you're not Saquon Barkley. Will other people try it? Absolutely. I would predict the next person who tries to do this, it will go very, very poorly.
I love it. Tom, I know you got to go do TV. Thank you so much, brother.
You got it, fellas.
Thank you.
Thanks to Bell Bank. And let me get that read in right now so everybody knows what's going on. Rubes, this football season, Bell Bank is giving one KFAN listener each week $1,000 to pay it forward to a charity of their choice. Nominate a charity of your choice right on KFAN.com. Just put in the keyword Bell. And every week we're going to read that charity and the person who nominated. And this week we have a nomination from Sean Corrigan. The organization is the Highland Friendship Club, the HFC, a nonprofit organization dedicated to ensuring that its members have ample chances to build personal relationships, explore new interests, and form lasting friendships with people of all abilities. Additionally, HFC provides parents and caregivers with options, support, and hope. The mission of Highland Friendship Club is to serve individuals with disabilities from ages 13 and older and adults by providing a range of opportunities to develop lifelong skills, friendships, and connections with their community. Well done. HighlandFriendshipClub.org. They will be getting $1,000 thanks to Sean Corrigan and our friends at Bell Bank. Bell Bank, you're the best. Thank you very much.
Pretty cool. Paul, your hands up.
I just wanted to take 10 seconds to say the Highland Friendship Club is outstanding. That is an outstanding group of people that put that together and what they do for people with disabilities. They are amazing at what they do.
I thought you might know something about them. That's good.
Yeah, they're
Well done,
wonderful.
Sean. Well
Wonderful.
done.
Parker Fox is here. His squad won last night. We'll ask him about not missing a shot. He just went 6 for 6. No big deal. Parker Fox of the Gopher basketball team in a second. Ben Leber is still here. This is the Power Trip Morning Show on the Fan.